Alright guys, today we're working on a 1999 Chevrolet pickup 1500 LS 5.3 liter engine. This time we're going to replace the rear wheel bearings. For that we're going to lift the vehicle. We're going to put them on safety stands, choke our front tire, and we're going to start removing our tires. Then we're going to remove our brake disc, brake caliper. So let's start. This truck has plastic covers for the tire nuts, so we're going to remove them by hand. So we use a air gun. Sometimes they're straight out, and then customer is not going to be happy, so we're going to remove them by hand. Then we're going to remove this ones. I believe it's a 22, so this one is not the right one. Let's go get the right one. Right, next step is going to be removing our brake caliper bracket, and it's a 17 millimeter ratchet. You can remove your brake caliper first, but we're gonna remove it all together. Brake caliper with the bracket, and we're just gonna set it over here on top of the spring suspension. Next step is going to be removing our brake disc rotor. We have our caliper set over there, so we're just going to go ahead and remove this one. So this one, it seems to be very rusty, and it doesn't have the emergency brakes here anymore. So right now we're under the vehicle. Our next step is to loosen our drain differential plug to drain a fluid. Then we're gonna try to catch it with the pan. Right, we have our pan here ready to catch. After draining our differential fluid, make sure you use a big oil pan to catch it. Now we're going to remove differential cover, the 13 millimeter bolts all the way around. Let's remove it. Right after removing our differential cover, we're gonna remove this pin over here in order to get our axle. The C pin right here that I'm moving, we're gonna have to remove it in order to get our axle out. But for that, we need to push our axle from that way inside. But this pin is not going to allow us to push it forward anymore, so we're going to have to remove that pin first. And that pin has a bolt that it's holding it in place. So the bolt is over here. So what we're going to do, we're going to move the differential. We're going to turn it by hand For that, we're gonna need to have our transmission in neutral. Then we're just gonna spin it by hand till we get our differential to the bottom position. Right, I'm going to leave it right there, and then when you turn it, you grab the front over there. Your transmission has to be in neutral. Then you spin it around till you get to this point where your pin is pointing down and your bolt is over here. Now we're going to remove, I believe it's the number 8mm bolt. We're going to remove that, and we're going to put our hand here to catch the pin in case it falls down. Now that we have loosened our bolt all the way out, we're just going to remove it. And then hold it on pin because it's going to want to fall off and it could get damaged, so we want to just hold it. It's catching right now in there, so what we're going to do, we're just going to turn our differential again, or we can move it with the same pin, and then we're just gonna slide it out. Let me get both hands on it. Right after you have removed your pin, then you want to push your axle from the outside in, and the pin, I already have done that, and this pin just fell off already. This is your C pin or a horseshoe pin that holds your axle in place. All right, so if you can't do it by yourself, have someone to push it in for you, and then use a magnet to get it out. Right now we're going to remove our next C pin. We're going to have someone to push our axle to the inside, then we're going to remove the pin. If it falls off, that's okay. Ahora, there it is. You catch it with your magnet. You can even push it yourself and it might just fell off like the other one did. Okay, so we're just going to put it right here on the floor for now, and that's all you have to do for removing your pin. Now we're going to remove our axle. Now we're gonna proceed and remove the seal. It's right here. We're gonna use a chisel to get it out from here, chisel it down, and we're gonna remove our seal. Then we're gonna proceed and remove our bearings. And there it is. It's out. And then you're gonna have some fluid coming out of it, so you can just put the plastic cup in the bottom and catch it, but it's not going to be much. Okay, I got the bearing out. It wasn't easy because I don't have the correct adapter for my slide hammer. The correct adapter looks more like this one right here. It looks like this one, but this is not it. The correct adapter goes inside. You're able to push it in and put it right there inside, and then you can just grab the edge, both edges, the top and the bottom of your wheel bearing or axle bearing, and get it out with the slide hammer. I didn't have that option on my slide hammer, so I had this adapter on my kit of the slide hammer, and I went all the way around, hitting it to the edge of the wheel bearing with this adapter, and that's how I managed to get it out of the way, out of inside. So next step is to clean real good inside, inspect that there's no damage, and then we're gonna proceed and install our new one in. Customer had already purchased the axle bearings, but look at this, I can just slide it in and all the way in without even pushing it in with the my bearing raise and seal driver set or installer. So this is not the correct one. Yours shouldn't go like that easy just by hand. You have to actually use a set and put them in there and hammer it all the way until it sits all the way to the back. So we're gonna have to call the auto parts store and see if that's the correct one, or they have a different one that we can install. All right, we got our new wheel bearings, and this is the correct number for our wheel bearings, precision. So what we're gonna end up doing right now, it's we're gonna press them in with this bearing installer. This is a bearing installer at 72 millimeter size. You just want them to be flush with the to the outside of the bearing, not more than the bearing, so it doesn't catch on the outside metal right here of your base. So we're just gonna put them there. We're gonna tap it gently until we hear a sound difference, and we feel that the bearing doesn't go any farther. Also, while hitting your bearing, try to look around. Stop for a moment and try to look around that it's going even. You don't want it to go crooked, so try to even it out. If it's going more on the top and then the bottom is a little bit out, then just try to hit it more on the bottom side, so that the bottom side goes also as straight as possible. So that, keep an eye on that. All right. I like to put some silicone or gasket maker around the seal, and also lubricate my rubber sealed with some oil from the differential fluid. So now we're going to install our sealed right in there, and we're going to use our sealed installer plate. This time we're going to go against the outside of the seal like this. This is number 81 millimeters that we're going to use to hit it in there. We have installed our seal. We're gonna pump some of the gear oil into the bearing, and we're gonna turn it around, lubricate the wheel bearing inside here, so it doesn't run dry when we first put the vehicle on the road. And we're gonna refill our differential anyway all the way to the top. And right while you try to push your axle, before you even install it, one quick tip is to come down here and install your pin. Just temporarily install your metal pin through the gears, this metal right here in the middle. Just temporarily install it. Put your pin all the way to the gears. That way when you're pushing your axle, they don't fall off, because they do fall off. And if they do fall off, you just have to don't panic. You just have to put them back in place. The bottom, you're gonna put them from the bottom inside, and the one on the top from the top inside. They both have to be almost at the same starting position, so when you turn your gears, they go in even, because this pin has to go through all the way to the top. So for that not to happen, come over here and install your pin, and put your temporary screw in it to hold it in place. Once you have it in, then you can see your axle here. Then you come over here, take that pin out, and then you push it farther in so you can put your C pin in place. So once you have installed your axles, on my case, I have to I just could push it just a little bit by hand, and I just have to use a rubber mallet to hammer it down into the correct position. Now I can install my C-clip, and now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna hold it with a magnet, and I'm gonna use a piece of metal to push my axle out for the pin to stay there, otherwise it's just gonna fall. So to align our pin with our gears inside, right now they're not aligned. You just have to turn your gears over here until you align your gears in the correct holes. They're aligned all the way in. So there you have it. Now we're just going to install our pin to hold it in place. We're going to put a little bit of blue Loctite. Right after completing your installation, you want to make sure that your pins, your C pins, are all the way inside the groove on each side, and you secure your pin inside as well, the main one on the middle. Then we're just gonna put everything back the way we took them out: tires, rotors, brakes, and the differential cover. And we're gonna refill it until the fluid comes out of the refill plug, and that's all.